What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Just United. Red Devils, I've got a question for you guys. If we do not beat Brentford this weekend on Saturday, should we be worried about our ability to finish in the top 4 this season? Drop your comments below. Don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button. And with my boy M-Flows, we're here for the Matchday preview. What is your thoughts on the game on Saturday?
Well, there's a lot to discuss, isn't there? I mean, you've got United's form, you've got Brentford's form, you've got Erik Ten Hag's future, Thomas Frank's future potentially, and of course, we've got the big game. I mean, it's a big game for you guys anyway. The way that Thomas Frank has set up this season, honestly, I think he's one of the most underrated managers going. You know, having to have sold Ivan Toney, and then of course deal with that, and the way he's got Brentford playing this season, it's like he's got 11 hungry dogs out there for a result. It's almost like when I come to your house and Coco's jumping on my leg, literally like that's literally how they play though, man. Like, I have to give him props. He makes the adjustments and he's got them playing so well without Ivan Toney. And most people probably had them down for like a relegation candidate, but they look well far from that.
Obviously, Brentford are sitting 11th, United are sitting 14th. Realistically, usually it's the other way around. But we're going into this game as underdogs. And, you know, I'm glad you mentioned Thomas Frank because I did want to talk about him, but I thought I'd switch it up a little bit today. Instead of talking about managers, because for the last 2 match previews, I spoke about managers galore. I want to talk about Brian Mbeumo. This guy is on fire. He scored against Tottenham, he scored against Wolves, and he scored against West Ham. He is so unpredictable. He's good at counter-attack football. And, you know, I don't know how we're going to deal with him in terms of our defence because we've got a makeshift defence. Mazarawi's got heart problems. You
know why he's got heart problems? He's got heart problems because he's thinking, shit, man, we're going to be screwed. He's looking at Brian Mbeumo and he's thinking, yo, I'm going to get my Bond bar today.
No, but honestly, this guy is so dangerous. And if we don't learn how to contain him in this game, if we don't come out with a clear plan of what we're going to do with him, he's going to cause us havoc. It's just going to be complete chaos. And, you know, we're at home. So hopefully, you know, the crowd gets behind us and we can deal with that. But if we don't, it's going to be one long day.
I know. And to be honest, like, I do think he's going to cause you guys a shitload of problems. Like, he is their go-to guy, along with like Wissa and a few other players as well. But he's that main. He literally has taken the scruff of the neck for the last few games, turned up, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable, and he is.
I'd take some of that right now, United. I'll be honest.
I know. I mean,
talking of Mr. Consistent, the other person I want to talk about is Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. This season, he hasn't been up to standard. We've played 7 games and he's only got 1 assist in the Premier League. He's been terrible.
He's got more red cards.
I'm hoping he can find some form and, you know, he can get back to his old ways of playing. He played well for Portugal during this international break. And I'm hoping he can bring that form back to United because we desperately need it right now. Bruno, if you're watching, come out and show us why you're the captain of this club. Take the game by the scruff of the neck, like M-Flow said, and show these Brentford fans that they ain't coming to Old Trafford and getting that dub.
Do you think, though, do you think that currently he's the right guy to be the United captain? Like, do you actually think that Bruno Fernandes is the guy to be leading United out on the pitch for the foreseeable future?
It's funny you say that because Benny McCarthy, the ex-coach of Manchester United, obviously he's no longer employed by United, so he's got no loyalties. He's got no reason to come out and be nothing but honest. He came out and he said the 2 players who are always consistent in training and the work that you do in training usually translates to the pitch. And
usually
usually translates to the pitch. But if players are putting in work, then they're gonna do well in the game. And the two players that you mentioned, one of them being Bruno, and do you know who the other one was?
Enlighten me.
Diogo Dalot. Both Portuguese, both hardworking. He's saying the same thing. Before Ronaldo left, he said the exact same thing. He got asked the question by Piers Morgan, and he asked him, who do you think is going to be a success at Manchester United? He said Diogo Dalot. Them two players are consistent. Bruno's been our most consistent player post Fergie. And, he's got a lot of stick this season because he's been played out of position. He's not been played in midfield. He's been told to do a pressing job. The guy's only got two pair of legs. He can only be in one place on the pitch. And if the rest of the players aren't pulling their weight...
no excuse at all.
No, but if the rest of the players aren't pulling their weight...
Every team presses nowadays. Every single player, it's front foot.
No, but usually when with the press, it's your striker or your wingers leading that press. This guy is running from midfield to lead the press. He's out of position then, because if you win the ball there, yes, he can get on it and he can pass it on. But say they pass it past him and then you win the ball in midfield, you're looking for Bruno and he's all the way on the other side of the pitch. In the Portugal games, he's been played in his proper position and he's getting on the ball. He's making assists. He's making goals. For United this season, he's been few and far between. It's not good enough. But, obviously he's one of the key players for us and he always has been since Fergie left. And
he was a pressing monster. Before he came to you guys, we were linked with him. Liverpool were linked with Bruno Fernandes. And actually... when he went to yourselves, I was a bit gutted, because from what I'd seen, he looked like a great player. And I still don't think he's... put it this way, I'd much rather have Bruno Fernandes on my team than have him against me. But I do think this season...
the levels have dropped.
He's not been where he normally sets the standard. And I feel like he's doing more of the... it's like he's
that's Bruno.
Dancing.
That's like Bruno all over.
Hands up in the air, you know what I mean. You can't be doing that as a captain. I don't think he's the right captain for.
There's no other choice that you can make though on that pitch. There's other players haven't been there long enough to be a captain, and other players simply cannot lead on that pitch, which we've seen because they crumble this season, like they have in some of the results, giving away 2-goal leads, 3-goal leads. It's just not the way United are playing at the moment. Him and Dalot are probably the shining lights this season. And saying that, how terrible they've been.
I mean, I think Dalot so far has probably been the player of the season in terms of for United. Not the overall. Listen, there's way better players than both of them that have been putting shifts in. But I do think that Diego Dalot has been head and shoulders above all your other players this season.
Talking of other players, let's get into the predicted 11. For this game, I've gone with something a little bit different because we've had injuries to most of our players. And coming to this game, I've gone with Diogo Dalot, right back. Mm-hmm. I've gone with Matthias de Ligt, centre back, because Harry Maguire got injured in the last game. So I don't know if he's going to be fit enough to play. I've gone with Lisandro Martinez at centre back. And then I've gone Johnny Evans. He's been touted to start in this game at left back. And I've gone with Johnny Evans at left back.
Evans at left back.
Ten Hag likes his left-footed players. And, I think
you guys are going to get roasted.
He could do a job. And, Dalot...
how old, man? My man's old enough to have a bloody walking stick.
But with Dalot moving
my
into midfield...
My man's going to be like this. Defending that left back like this, bro.
I agree. But with Dalot dropping in midfield, it will be a back three. And then I've gone with Casemiro in midfield. And it was originally going to be Agate. But obviously, again, he's come off injured when he's been playing on international duty. So I've gone with Christian Eriksen. Again, got an assist on international duty. He's on form. And then I've gone with Bruno, obviously, the captain, not going to be dropped. I've gone with Ahmad on the right wing. I've dropped Garnacho because I think Ahmad just brings a little bit more stability on that right-hand side. And he's going to try and get a goal. And he will provide for the strikers. I've gone with Rasmus Højlund up top.
Mm-hmm.
Again, do not know if he's fit. He said that he had a knock or a hamstring injury on international break. He may not be fit for this game, so it might be Joshua Zirkzee. And then I'm going with Rashford on the left. Again, been left out from the England squad.
Rightfully so
Now-
as well.
Yeah, so now he's got a point to prove. So hopefully he does that on Saturday.
But he's been out of the squad anyway for a bit. So do you think that that's going to give him that added extra motivation?
I hope so. He's got to, otherwise he's going to be very soon out of a Manchester United career. Because, you know, as good as he is and as good of a servant he's been for the club, if he doesn't pick up any form, we've seen what Ineos are doing. They literally just sack Fergie.
And here you are with a bloody shrine of Fergie still fucking
The
worshipping him.
The goal. But honestly, if Rashford doesn't pick up any form, he could be out the door. They could cash in on him because he's a player that we could get a decent profit on, homegrown. And, you know, if Ineos are shaking things up, they're not sticking to the way the Glazers run things. They're going to make footballing decisions. So that's my predicted lineup. Let me know what you guys think below. Don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button. But now I want to talk about Brentford and their tactics. They line up in a 4-2-3-1. And it's tough. Like I said, Thomas Frank knows how he wants his team to play. He knows exactly what he wants to do on the pitch. And he gets a performance out of his players. Like you said, there are 11 hungry dogs on that pitch, and they will fight for him, and they will listen to his instructions, which I'm not necessarily sure United players are doing at the moment. That's how they like to line up. But when they are pressing up the pitch, and they do get further up the pitch, they'd like to line up something like this. As you can see on screen now, their right back moves into midfield, and the 3 attacking players to look something like this. So as you can see on screen right now, they line up with a 3-3-4, which again shows what are they going to be doing. They're going to be counter pressing, and they're going to be trying to pin that Manchester United defence in. There's a few players that we're going to look out for, which are going to be difficult considering the way that we're playing at the moment. There's a few players I want to talk about. All over 6 foot, by the way. As you can see on screen, these are the players that we need to look out for. Norgard, Damsgaard, Janelt, Shard. Thomas Frank is going to be targeting set pieces. Once they get a chance to put the ball in the box, these players that are over 6 foot, they're going to be bullying that Manchester United defence, especially if it's makeshift. And if we ain't on job, these players at the moment, they're going to cause some serious issues. What do you think?
Honestly, I agree. I think that, you know, the types of characters in his team in terms of their physique and their build, it kind of reminds me of that successful Arsenal team under Arsene Wenger, where literally the players were monsters. Almost kind of like how Pep's got his like defense as well, you know, all 6 foot plus, absolute tanks, willing to like, you know, put their life on the line, you know, and get a result, etc. And I don't really see that fight and that desire in United's team. You know, I do worry for yourselves, you know, I really do worry for yourselves.
It's funny you say that because obviously I've shown you guys how Brentford will line up, and they do like to play very narrow through the middle. And like you said, with the Arsenal side, it was very midfield dominant. And, you know, with those players that are there now, being 6 foot and being built the way they are, it's going to be one hell of a battle in that midfield. And I'm not so sure whether it's Casemiro, whether it's Eriksen, whether it's Bruno. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to handle it. It's going to be a really tough game. But let's get into our predictions. Let's get into the fun part of the episode.
I mean, what are you fun?
But what are your predictions for the game?
Honestly, I think it's going to be 2-0 to Brentford. You know, I can't see the way United are playing at the moment. I don't see anything but a Brentford win. I know you guys are at home, and of course, that can sometimes play a factor. You know, lift the players' spirits, etc. But I just can't see it. I think the fans are going to be on to the players. I think it's going to be like a cauldron, really. And I just can't see anything but a quick Brentford start, and of course, you know, them getting a result even if it's not 2-0, I still think they'll walk away with a draw. And I think that's going to be, that might be Ten Hag's last game.
It's funny as well, because if we lose to Brentford, we got Jose in the midweek Europa League game after. Jose is going to be licking his lips, especially obviously if it goes the way you're saying with a 2-0 win for Brentford. Jose is going to be thinking, yes, I can put the final nail in the coffin and maybe even get yourself a job at the same time. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with Mohit or do you agree with what I'm going to say? I think personally it's going to be a 2-1 United win. Like you said, we're at home. Back after the international break, we've got some players on form. Eriksen got an assist. Bruno got an assist. And hopefully they can bring that form back. They bring the good vibes back. And we can get this season going and get on track. That was a match day preview for the Brentford versus Manchester United game. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. See you later.